How you feeling? You really frightened me last night.
I'm a terrible fool of myself.
Hardly. Everyone sends their love. We nearly died when you...
Nearly died.
Don't say that. Me and my big mouth.
I've got a terrible feeling it's just indigestion.
Ah, Mr. Turner. You obviously needed a long lie-in. Hello, I'm Dr. Phipps.
I was just explaining to my granddaughter, Doctor, I'm feeling a lot better now.
I'm glad to hear it, but you're going to need to change your ways. You've had a mild heart attack.
I knew you weren't well days ago.
I think your granddad had an inkling too. Ignoring the signs won't make health problems go away.
Don't worry, my dear. I'll be all right.
And there's no reason why you shouldn't be. In time.
Well, are you going to tell him off for overdoing it? He needs telling, Doctor.
He's already had a firm warning from his own body last night. I only hope you'll listen to it, Mr. Turner.
Oh, you're back then? You and Chris enjoy yourselves last night, did you?
You've got something to say, then say it. Stop messing around.
Cassie.
Well, what do you expect?
Well, I expect a phone call, just to let me know what's going on. From you, I don't expect to have to go down and hang around outside Laura's house like a sad muppet just so she can tell me you're not coming home.
So, if I had rung, you would have been out searching the street. Good job I didn't bother.
I was only out for half an hour.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get too cold on my account. You'd hardly played the knight in shining armour anyway.
I didn't even know where you were, otherwise I would have... Said knight in shining armour.
So?
Well, that implies that you needed rescuing.
Don't be stupid, Biffy. Just twisting my words around.
He's tried it on with you,
No!
hasn't he? Then why are you so angry? Kathy, are you all right?
Apart from feeling a right idiot, yes, I am fine. Now, can we just leave it at that for the minute?
So, Kathy took ill?
You keep this to yourself, Laura, but she had some sort of paranoia attack, being in such a strange place. I mean, she was frightened of all the staff. She was even frightened of me.
Well, did she get home all right?
I hope so. Well, I was too scared to ring her, just in case she accused me of stalking her.
Well, I saw Biff last night. He certainly wasn't best pleased.
Don't know how he puts up with it. Not surprised they don't go out much. Not if she gets in that state.
Was she really that bad?
Well, obviously she's fine when she's in familiar surroundings, but once we got into the restaurant, she was behaving oddly. Just went from bad to worse. There's no way that she's over that head injury.
I'm in.
Not taking him to the childminders.
Why not? It's paid for. And I'm half hoping the school are going to ring up and say there's been some terrible mistake and they want me to go straight back.
Just seems a shame when he's got the chance of spending a bit of time with you.
Oh, Graham, I'm not feeling very confident about this. I think me and Joseph are going to have to spend all day, every day together fairly soon.
Probably she'll be back by the end of the week.
Yeah. And what will I have to face there, eh?
It'll blow over. These things always do.
And you know the worst thing about all this enforced leisure time?
What?
No TV. You realise how much you miss it when you're on your own.
But you don't have to be on your own. That's what I'm trying to say. Now give me a hug. Everything's going to be fine. We'll have you back where you belong in no time. You'll see.
Can you do Kathy, love? It'll only be bills, but I best sort through them now.
Okay.
Hi. Has anyone rung the hospital this morning? See how Alan is?
Yes, I did. Alan was a great friend to me after Vic died. Thankfully, they say he's not in any danger.
Oh, well, that's something.
Yeah, but they had to replace the floorboards and a wall pack. He hit the deck like a ton of bricks.
Oh, Scott! Excuse him, you know what kids are like.
Yep, I know what yours are like.
Yes. Poor, hard-working Alan ill in hospital while drug dealers languish at home on full pay. Hey.
I really don't need to hear that kind of comment.
And I really don't need a druggie in the village, but it looks like I'm stuck with Rachel Hughes.
Yeah, was she in it just for personal use, or does she supply as well?
Well, she's arrogant enough to try. She waltzes round here as if she's above the likes of us. Well, it's about time she learnt a lesson.
Forget the shopping.
Wasn't going to serve you anyway. Running away looks as if you've got something to hide. There you go. Nothing to say.
Oh, grow up, Viv.
That would be 4.47
Oh,
then,
sorry,
please.
I don't seem to have my purse.
Who do they think they are? Mum? You all right?
Fix insurance money. It's come through. Look. Just brings it all back. Horrible, isn't it? It's like blood money.
People get insured so, you know, their families will be all right if anything happens.
But you don't expect it, though. Not like this. I still can't take it in that he's never coming back.
Stop gawping. Frankie's out on a job.
Who cares?
You shouldn't for a start. What is the matter with you? You're behaving like some reckless schoolgirl.
I thought a party would be a nice idea.
Pity you were too drunk to remember. Fortunately, Sean and his comrades took a video.
They didn't.
You were that drunk then.
And did Sean tell you about Maggie, Frankie's girlfriend?
Only till I couldn't bear to listen anymore. Do you realise how humiliating this is for me?
For you?
I prefer you weren't a lesbian at all.
No, let's face it, you'd prefer it if I was completely asexual. Then we could spend all our time worrying about your love life.
Not anymore. Never take your advice again.
So it didn't go too well with Kathy then?
She stormed off.
Well, what on earth did you say to her? Well, you didn't try anything.
Do something about it, that's what you said.
I meant talk to her about him. Persuade her she's made a mistake, not sexually harass the poor girl. We've blown it.
That makes two of us then. You forget about Frankie, I'll forget about Kathy.
Right.
Right.
I just thought you'd like to know that Rachel and I are both being slandered in the village.
Put yourself in my position. I had no choice.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just the idea of some little creep laughing his socks off at our expense. Somebody planted those drugs on Rachel.
Well, let's hope we can get to the bottom of it. How's she bearing up?
Embarrassed, humiliated. She started questioning working here in the first place.
Why?
Well, she may just be the school secretary, but she's put a lot of extra time and effort into this place.
It's part of the deal these days, Graham. We all do.
So how would you feel if you'd been wrongly accused? After all the commitment you'd shown? I pretty much had to restrain her from phoning you up and telling you where to stuff your job.
That's not fair. I had to suspend her.
I've tried explaining that. But I might not be able to talk around again.
If I ask who you're looking for, mate, I expect an answer.
Well, it's all right, mate, because I found him now, so why don't you just run along? I want to talk to you.
Do you want me to stay?
Not unless you enjoy a good laugh.
Oh, yeah. Being a naughty lad, then?
Close the door on your way out.
Fair enough.
Coffee? Kathy tells me you like it instant.
Stay away from her. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to stick your oar in. You try to drive a wedge between us. But it won't work.
No, I can see your relationship's as solid as a rock. If not a little on the quiet side.
It was a setup last night, wasn't it, Chris? Come on, tell me. Car breaking down, that's the oldest trick in the book.
I'm almost embarrassed by my own lack of invention. But rest assured, nothing happened.
Well, what did you want to happen?
I wanted Kathy to see the mistake she was making. That she had more options open to her than settling for a piece of village rough. But she managed to educate me. And that's not what it's about at all.
Well, not everybody's as shallow as what you are.
Evidently. But I must say I never thought I'd feel sorry for a man younger and more... I was going to say able-bodied, but that's really a matter of opinion, isn't it?
What?
Well, don't worry, it'll go no further than The entire village.
You're lying.
I wish I was. I mean, it's not fair that Kathy should be missing out. She does love you, which makes me very upset. But I'm afraid you don't satisfy her, which makes me very happy.
Kathy'd never say that. She'd never.
Talk about your shortcomings. Why? Because she's not the type to tell? Or because it's not true? A couple of gins can go a long, long way.
You got a junk so you could try it on with her?
Well, obviously you need to believe that. Any man would in your position. All I can say is that we came very close. She didn't need much persuasion, especially after a little disclosure.
You're a liar, Tate.
Why don't you find out? Your passionate outbursts wasted on me. Like I said, I really think she does love you. Isn't that enough?
You're sick. And you're twisted and you hate the idea of anybody else being happy.
True, but not relevant, I'm afraid. You've got nothing, Fowler. She's given you a job. She dragged you out of the gutter. The one place you thought you really could offer her something in return, she'd rather have a cup of cocoa.
Liar! You asked for that.
It's worth it.
Now get out!
While you're at it, why don't you give Tara a ring? See why she decided to stick with her pensioner playboy instead of keeping with you.
What are you doing, Rachel? Are you moving or something? I wish I'd never started. I'm just trying to sort out some junk of mine and Graham's. Graham's got a load of rubbish here they ain't even unpacked yet.
You can't avoid the village forever, you know.
I can, till this charge gets sorted out. It's so unfair, Kathy. I've never taken drugs. I mean, except alcohol. I've not even smoked a cigarette.
And anyone who knows you knows that.
Yeah, tell that to Sergeant Reynolds and her sniffer dog.
It'll be fine.
That's what Graham keeps saying. Goodness knows what he's having to face at school.
He rose above it all with Viv Windsor in the shop this morning.
I don't know what I'd do without him.
Oh, you're very lucky. I'll go and grab us that coffee. Rachel, can I open that cake in the cupboard?
Oh, if you don't mind, I was saving it for Graham. He deserves a treat.
Oh, and I don't?
Go on, then.
Of course, her and Graham say the drugs were planted. But then they would, wouldn't they? I reckon they've obviously addled her brain if she thinks we're full for that rubbish. Anyway, enjoy your stay in the Dales.
Thank you.
Who's that?
I don't know. You're back early?
I had some paperwork to do.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, I should have told you I put a brandy in yours. I thought you might need it.
Thanks, Nuff.
Have you thought any more about Vic's insurance money? I know it sounds a bit morbid, but you know, well, he'd want you to spend it.
Not on myself, though. It's too upsetting. I think you kids should benefit from it.
Really? What do you have in mind?
I don't know. Let's get together tonight. We'll have a natter about it. I think I better put some water in this. I'm feeling squiffy already.
I don't think I'd have made a good nurse, Alan. If only hospitals didn't always smell of mints.
I think you make a success of anything you turned your hand to.
Oh, I couldn't do chiropody. But other than that, I like to think I have a broad range. You do say the nicest things, though, Alan.
How's Tricia? She was a bit upset this morning.
Came home, had a good blub on my shoulder, and now she's as right as rain. We may have had our differences in the past, but I'm mature enough to see she's still quite young and a bit dizzy.
I do know I'm asking an awful lot of you.
Trisha's fine. And the pub's no problem. Takings are up because everyone's drinking to your good health.
I can't tell you how glad I am I employed you.
The feeling's mutual. And I like a challenge. You can pile as much responsibility as you like onto these shoulders. There you are, you see? Nice and relaxed. Leave it all to me.
I thought I'd get some stuff from the diner. Save the cooking. What's he doing here?
I'm getting a trust fund.
I thought this was supposed to be a family get-together.
Roy is my fiancé. That makes him family.
This money concerns all of us, Scott. Anything that Kelly gets goes to Roy as well. It seems only right that he should be here.
Don't worry, mate. I'm not going to ask to share your chips or out like that.
You can keep your mitts off mine, and you're getting a trust fund.
What's she talking about?
I'm sorry, love. Couldn't wait. I've decided to use some money on doing up the shop.
And that's not the best bit.
Shut up, Donna. I love a chicken burger. Yeah. You and Donna, I'm going to put some money in a trust for each of you for when you get married.
And what about Kelly?
I'm getting mine now. Well, ours. Viv's giving us a deposit for ours.
Cheers, Viv. No, I still can't believe that. You're the best future mother-in-law I've ever had.
Look, I don't mean to be funny, Mum, but can't I have mine now?
No, Scott. I want this money to mean something. Don't worry, you'll soon find somebody you want to settle down with.
I'd love to go and see Al, but I don't want to upset him. Done enough of that already.
I do feel responsible for both of you falling out. Oh, please go and see him, Terry. He's had a real shock. He needs his friends.
Do you think I should pay him a visit?
He's very easily tired. Best not too soon, eh?
Thanks, Bernice.
No problem. Now, I've made some changes to the work rotas for us this week.
Well, I was going to do that.
Didn't take me 2 seconds, and you were too busy talking to Terry. I did promise your granddad I'd keep this place shipshape.
We all will.
Of course we will. As long as I have the final say.
Is Alan okay? We've been really worried.
A lot of TLC and a little coronary care and he'll be fine. How's your Rachel doing?
Oh, she'd do a lot better if people weren't judging her behind her back.
Don't you take that tone with me? What'll be the point of her smoking drugs then doing all that keep fit malarkey? It's obvious to me she's innocent.
Oh, right, thanks.
Well, I might have said there was no smoke without fire.
Very funny.
No, I don't mean it like that. If she reckons she's innocent, then fair enough.
You've got such a way with words, Tricia.
Well, I've known her longer than any of you. I mean, after all these years, you'd think I'd know.
Yeah, well, thanks for that. I'll pass on your best wishes.
If it's any consolation, I think she's as guilty as sin.
Why would that be a consolation?
I'd hate to break Woolpack tradition with a unanimous show of support.
She's innocent.
Those drugs didn't just fly into her pocket.
Don't tell me, you and Sean.
Fowler. Barely touched me. Definitely a nutter, though.
Good job they've got each other then. You were calling Kathy a nutter this morning.
At least she had a bang on the head. And what's his excuse?
Well, maybe he thinks you made a pass at Kathy, all alone in that cosy hotel room. Maybe that's why he punched you.
Well, don't be ridiculous. I don't know what she's told him.
But you reckon she must have told him something about last night? Do you know why they make the dock so small in court? It's so people can't turn away when they're lying.
Is that a fact?
Do you have any respect for me at all? Because the way I feel right now, I don't have much for myself.
Don't be silly. Have a drink.
Don't ever call me silly.
All right, then. Don't be absurd.
I've dealt with more liars than you've had hot dinners. Trying to convince me that Kathy and Biff are both head cases. That's too easy, Chris. I'm the one who ought to have her head felt. It was Kathy you wanted all along.
Come on.
Well, I'm glad he punched you. And I really hope she knocked you back. Because that'll make 2 of us in 24 hours.
Parents have been ringing up all day. A Apparently, they don't want a druggie working at the school.
What did Miss Strickland say?
Oh, the amount of flack she's been getting, I got the distinct impression she wants to make an example of you.
She said that?
Well, not in so many words, but that's what she was getting at. What's that?
Oh, it's just hundreds of pictures of Joseph when he was tiny. They're all practically the same.
So, then I thought I'd pop into the Woolies, see what they were saying there.
Oh, how's Alan?
Oh, they managed to talk about him for all of 5 seconds before the subject got round to you.
If only I could get a chance to talk to people properly.
You'd be wasting your time. As soon as I turned my back, they were all sniggering and whispering. I tell you, Rachel, this is really getting to me. I've thought long and hard about this today. Why should we put up with this smear campaign? It won't be long before they go for me as well.
We haven't done anything wrong.
Oh, when has that ever mattered? Admit it, we can't go on like this. I don't want you and Joseph under this kind of pressure. You've been incredibly brave, but I can see you've had enough.
No, I'm coping.
You'd cope a lot better if you didn't have to worry what was being said down the Woolpack. It's enough to make me want to leave.
Graham!
I'd do it at the drop of a hat if it made things easier for you. I'm not blaming you, Rachel. It's not your fault. But we don't stand the chance of any peace if we stay around here.
I wasn't sure if I'd see you tonight.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
What are you talking about? Come here.
I went to see Chris.
I wish you hadn't.
Yeah, I bet you do.
OK, Biff, you were right and I was wrong. You warned me he was up to something and I chose not to believe you. Now, can we just forget about him? I'm the one who looks the fool.
No, I don't think so. I mean, what did you say to him about us? About what you thought of me?
What did he tell you?
So you did talk to him? You told him private things about us?
Biff, I told him I loved you.
What, like a family pet? Or a pair of slippers, what?
What's wrong with feeling comfortable with someone?
Well, plenty. If that's all that you do feel.
It isn't, and you know it isn't, and I'm starting to find this irritating.
No, I thought there might still be a level of excitement in all this. I mean, we've only been together, what, 5 minutes?
Now, it's bad enough finding out in the privacy of your own bedroom that you're not much cop, but to come from Chris Tate...
Oh, well done, Biff. Now he's got us at each other's throats. Exactly what he wanted. I told him how important you are to me. Now, if he's turned that into something crude and nasty, then it's not my fault. Maybe you shouldn't have interfered. I'm the one who had a bad time last night.
Well, fine. I'll go then, shall I? 'Cause I'd hate for you to have another one with me tonight.